And when you look at by application category, this is kind of a cool map that lets you see within the mobile industry what type of environment are people doing the most advertising. And by far it's productivity apps, games, and you can see the, and the lifestyle. Those are the ones that people are targeting the most. And the reason is because most apps are used a total of about 8 times before they're thrown away. Imagine spending the amount of money that it costs to develop an iPhone app, have somebody use it 8 times and then delete it off of their phone, and you never have them in front of you again. But productivity apps people use over and over again. Social apps, think of Facebook and Twitter. How often do you open them? Almost daily. So they use them on an almost daily basis. That's why the advertising there is so much stronger. This also talks about the average of the in-app for the 4 categories. As you can tell, the utility apps are the ones that even among all 3 different types are the highest. And by far, Apple is leading the industry. However, Android is moving in very quickly as they spread across more platforms. What does it take to enter the mobile market? There's several different ways that people can get involved in the mobile market. You can develop your own custom app. You can get on board a template app. There are several different companies who've come up that have their own publishing platform that you can, like a lot of the newsreaders, those are actually template apps. If you see one newspaper and then you see it in another city and another city, they all have that same look and feel, and it's because it's a template where you put in different RSS feeds from your own website, and that's what people find on your iPhone app. So it's not a true iPhone app, it's simply RSS feeds that have to be pulled, but it does give people a more affordable way to get their content into a mobile app. You can also do a banner or an iAd on an app, or you can become a sponsor, or find, there are a few apps that are beginning to add user-generated content. And if you can find that, you can usually get into an app for much less than it costs to develop your own app. And so now we'll talk about that. Unless you are an iPhone app developer and you have all of the technical skills that you need to do, developing your own app is ridiculously expensive. Some of the major apps, they're spending about $500,000 to $750,000 per app to develop those. And the RSS ones are much less than that, but for your own custom app, that's really what you're looking at. To get into a typical iPhone banner, it's about $500 a month, and that is for some of the local industry here. To be able to get into the local Palm banners, it's around $300 a month. So that's what you're looking at to be able to do that. I am part of Mobile Promotions Network that has numerous apps across different channels. And the way this Mobile Promotions Network is being developed is that if you put a promotion in my city guide and you have a product that fits within the demographic of one of those other apps across one of those other channels, you can spread that promotion out into the other apps without any redevelopment at all. This is a little bit similar to what the HTML5 will be like in the iAd. However, these are a little bit different because it is completely custom content that you control. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit about the difference between the iPhone, the iPad, iAds, what we are looking at from working within my own iPhone app. I am the developer, or the owner of an iPhone app company that we do city guides. We used Albuquerque as the test city to be able to develop our business strategy before we move out into the rest of the country. We will be in the top 100 cities by the end of about 2013 is what we expect. And each of those will be managed locally. We are building community apps. These are not tourist apps. These are apps that people use within their community to gain content. In looking at that, the one decision that I made is no banner ads. People hate banner ads. They work very hard to get rid of them so they can see the content behind them. And I didn't want to ask people to pay for something that other people were working vigorously to get rid of. That's not a good expenditure of money. Now with iAds, they are telling us that it'll work a little bit differently, that it will be an HTML5, you can actually create a little mini app, but whether they force us to use The banner or not, I'm not sure. They still haven't given us costs. They haven't, I mean, all they will tell you is developers are going to get 60% of the revenue. Well, that's beautiful, but I have no idea what you, the consumer, are going to have to pay for those ads. I have no clue yet. And they probably won't be telling us until this summer. The one beautiful thing about it, though, is that with the HTML5, you're able to put in some absolutely dynamic content within someone else's app. Inside of the Wall Street Journal, you can actually open up an iAd that has, it's for Disney, and you can watch videos from Disney, you can watch a tour guide of going throughout the whole park. There's all of these different things that you can do, and when you close it, you're right back in the app where you started. You didn't ever have to leave the app to watch that information. Within AppCityLife, I wanted to make it affordable. There's absolutely no way most small business owners can afford those kinds of prices for mobile advertising. And I'm actually working with the Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce. We've just finished working up some pricing, and anybody who is a member of the Greater Albuquerque Chamber will get almost half off of any kind of advertising that they end up doing within the app. And that's something we will do in almost every city after this. We will work with the chambers to be able to give businesses a better deal so that they have the ability to get into the mobile market. Why do you want to? That's where people are. If you have a smartphone, that's where you're going to get your mail. It's where you're going for your social media. It's where you're going to look up where you want to go on Friday night, how to get somewhere when you're lost. That's really where you are. People pick it up the first thing in the morning. It's the last thing they turn off before they go to sleep at night. You have the ability to get in someone's pocket and carry your information around with them so you're there when they need you. And that's pretty powerful. That doesn't happen very often. For us, we decided that we would only put the amount out there that we really needed to be able to become a business. So you can get a listing within AppCityLife for as low as $30 a year. If you break that down, that's less than a latte a month. And there's hardly any business out there that can't afford that. And that gives you actionable content within the app that's also searchable. When people are looking for an auto mechanic, you can put that in there and they will find those ones that are hardwired. We will also have the ability to let people do promotions. So if you have a promotion in there, with our next app that comes out, it will be attached to your listing. And so you can actually do a search of which businesses in Albuquerque are now offering promotions for people who are using AppCityLife. With the iPad, you have this lovely big screen. And because of that, we are going to be doing some completely different content within the app. We will have articles in it. We will have interviews with local celebrities. We will have stories about things that are coming up. When Balloon Fiesta comes, we will have articles that talk about what it's like to be a balloonist. And we will do things that both locals and people who are coming from outside of the city want to see within that app. Let's see. I think that's about all I have to cover as far as what I have as far as the actual talk. But I did want to open it up for questions because this is a brand new market and it's very different than any other form of advertising. And so if you guys have questions, I would be happy to entertain anything you have.